Bonjour YouTube, we are here with the iPad Pro. Now, this is a quandary. It's to some people a big iPad, and that is a great thing. To some people, it's just a big iPad. That's not a good thing. But overall, it's definitely a move from Apple. It's a change, it's something a little bit different. It packs loads of power in, it's got some really quite interesting accessories. So let's take a look and see if it actually is any good. The design of the iPad Pro is definitely in keeping with Apple's tablet range. You know, it feels it's got the same black bezels around the side, we've got the metal ceramic feeling on the back, and you can tell this is the larger brother of the Mini and the iPad Air 2. If you compare them side by side, you can see it's a lot bigger, and it benefits as well from the weight because it's got the extra speakers, more power, but you definitely have to hold it in two hands. It's definitely a two-handed machine like this rather than holding it portrait, because you're actually going to struggle over an amount of time to hold that weight because it does get quite tiring. The screen on the iPad Pro is exactly what you'd hope for from something like this from Apple. It's a Retina display, which means it's clear and sharp, and while it's not a 4K display, which you'd think Apple would do to make the best screen on the market, it's a 2732 by 2048, which means when you're holding it in landscape and you activate split screen, where you have two apps running next to each other at the same side by side, it's the same resolution as an iPad Air 2. That means that app developers can code easier, everything looks better, it still looks really sharp, and you can multitask without having to worry too much. And given this is actually a media device first and foremost, that's exactly what you want, and it's really great and really bright to look at all the time. Some people, the iPad Pro might not have changed too much from the Air 2, apart from being a little bit bigger, but Apple's done something a little bit different here by having the smart connector on the bottom. Now this is 3 dots here, and they're magnetic, and they can actually pass both power and data across to different accessories like the smart keyboard. They snap together like that, they don't need extra power, and they just fold in and just work instantly. There's no Bluetooth pairing, there's no need to worry about batteries. Essentially, it's a very easy way of getting a load of accessories in, and it won't just be Apple that uses them, third parties can too. One of the great things about the iPad Pro is that it's just so powerful. This is a tablet that's got way more power than anything Apple's ever produced so far in the tablet range. It's got an A9X chip, it's got apparently 4 GB of RAM, although Apple hasn't confirmed that, but it definitely means this thing is powerful. So if we open up Photoshop, for instance, pull that across the split screen. Now, it's just the ease at which you can do stuff with this is just amazing, and it's something that you wouldn't really expect from a tablet. So just roll it out, it's gone. Moving these bits and pieces out, it's gone. And this is the sort of thing you'd really expect from a more of a high-end Mac. And yeah, I mean, things like Photoshop have moved on in the past, so you would expect to be able to start doing this on tablets, but the speed and the sort of the real raw grunt of this is very impressive. And it's nice to see Apple's got a real reason for the iPad Pro rather than just it's a bit bigger and heavier. If you're an iPhone user, you probably know that Apple doesn't do great things with its battery life on its phones. But when it comes to tablets, things are usually a lot better. Now, the reason for that is that tablets go to sleep a lot more. You put them in the smart case, you chuck them in your bag, and you'll find a week later they're still going. The thing with the iPad Pro is it's a lot more multifunctional. It does a load more things. So you've got the keyboard, you've got the pencil, you're constantly finding different ways to use it. So instead of just watching films once in a while or browsing the web, the battery doesn't last as long. It probably for 10 hours is what Apple quotes. For watching movies again and browsing the web, it will last just about long enough. But in day-to-day use, I found it to be a little bit less kind on the battery and found myself charging maybe once every 2 to 3 days rather than every week. So we've come outside to check out the iPad Pro camera. Now this is an 8 megapixel iSight lens, but the problem is it's still a camera on a tablet. You don't really want to be using an iPad to take pictures, and if you are, please stop. I mean, if you're using an iPad mini, maybe you could get away with it, but this is not something to be taking to a wedding, to a stadium. Don't do it. But it does have some extra features. One of the good reasons to have a camera on the iPad Pro is that it lets you do slow-mo. Now this is really great for professionals who want to, say, analyze golf swings at a runner's running style. Again, this is somewhere where the camera is actually really useful. You can take 720p footage at 120 frames per second, and it's a lot better on something than, say, the iPad mini. It's not great, it's still not that super beautiful 4K slow-mo that you can get on the iPhone, for instance, but it's good enough. And if you're looking to be a professional using the iPad Pro, it will work for you. So the big question with the iPad Pro is this actually a tablet in its own right, or is it an iPad Air 2 that's just been supersized to make even better? Well, it's actually both of those things. If you love the iPad Air for media, for browsing the web, everything on that is better here. It's quicker, it's faster, the speakers sound better. So if you're looking for a media device, it's absolutely brilliant. You can even get away with the weight after a little while. But it does more than that. It's got so much more functionality. Adding the keyboard in makes it into a decent laptop replacement. You've got things like using the pencil, opening up Photoshop, and it's just so much faster, so much quicker, and so much more capable than anything Apple's made before in the tablet line. If you're looking for a full-on laptop replacement, it's not quite the Surface Pro 4 because that's got the full ability to use Windows 10, whereas this is iOS. It's not El Capitan, it can't do all that stuff, but it's still really good. It's a really good accessory rather than a replacement. And if you're looking for a bigger iPad, this is for you. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a really great device anyway. So let us know what you think. Is this just too big an iPad? Is it a laptop replacement? Is the Surface Pro 4 a better device? We want to know exactly what you think in the comments below, so please let us know. Subscribe, like, and thanks for watching.